time today, so I didn't manage to do the last bit of it, the front rack and the false grip.
The false grip rows.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no problem. We'll talk about your time management just a bit, just because I think it will help going forward with the phase of training we're going into. So we'll talk about just a sec. But how's training going in general?
Yeah, it's all right. I think some days I feel sort of pretty good, and then sort of other things I kind of feel like I don't necessarily feel like I've been progressing. But then I don't know. I find it quite hard to judge. I think sort of with the endurance stuff. I mean, like the one yesterday, I thought that was quite good, and I felt quite good doing that. I feel my back squat was sort of it got really good, and then it sort of come down a little bit.
Okay.
And then there's the behind the head strict press. I just can't feel like I just don't feel like I'm sort of getting very far with that. I was
okay.
Struggle with that. So.
Okay, so a couple of things there. Well, when it comes to your energy system pieces, you'll find that your MAP 7 work started off like way back when 2 months ago. It was very much 10 minutes of salt bike rest, 10 minutes of rowing rest, 10 minutes of salt bike. Very simple pieces, where it was just your aerobic system as your limiting factor. And now yesterday was a really good example where it's almost looking a bit like CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's very mixed modal. Even the pieces in there, potentially they're not, you can't do them unbroken, but you can do them very quickly, where you're now doing CrossFit and the limiting factor is your aerobic system. Mm-hmm. So when we start giving you some Metcons that don't have any rest in, you'll feel like you need to pace it, if that makes sense. If I give you a 12-minute AMRAP now, you'll feel that you'll need to pace it. You're going to a strategy on it. Whereas before, when you first came in, it'd just be like, hammer it as hard as you can, red line, just like goggles on, hold on, let's go. And now hopefully you'll feel that pacing throughout.
Yeah.
The reason why I thought it'd be good to talk to you this week is just to talk about how you're feeling, because I did notice some of the notes on back squat, because next week is when I wanted to run testing. You've got about 15, 16 weeks till the Open, even though I don't really know any details. And I don't, as a affiliate owner, I don't know anything more than you do.
Yeah.
But we want to do more. We want to start building up the intensity, which means lowering down the volume.
Right, okay.
So your sessions should be a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Because I know that sometimes, a lot of times I'll put, hey, I know you've got an hour, but this is optional if you get time.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll start going into a lot more power cleans, push jerks, snatches, and then more volume accumulation of your high skill gymnastics pieces like chest to bars, muscle ups, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
On your metrics test, we will test your power clean, your 8-minute AMRAP, 2K row, potentially 5K row, but it's not that important. The main reason why we did that was to just get your MAP 7 pacing and some of the pieces, some of your gymnastics stuff. And then we'll pick an open workout that was the most difficult for you this year, and we'll retest it based on what you did and have a look at how that's sitting. Okay. And that'll give us a really good indication of what the next 8 to 12 weeks looks like.
Sure.
That'll help us map out the next 2-3 months. And then, like, in all honesty, as a coach, when we come into like 6 weeks out before the Open, my programming just completely goes out the window, and I just start giving you disgusting stuff, because that's what the Open's all about, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I just give you stuff that doesn't make sense, like, hey, 50 thrusters and 50 burpees and 50 calories, and do that for 4, 12, or 20 minutes. It doesn't really matter. It's just you figuring out how to pace it.
Okay.
So what we'll do is, when we run this cycle, we keep on going back and forth, and then really think about when you want those Open workouts to be, because we're going to have to repeat some of the Open workouts on the days that you're thinking about doing them. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to do it Friday and then going to repeat Monday, I'll start giving you real hard stuff on Fridays and real hard stuff on Mondays. So you start getting in a rhythm. Your cortisol starts getting in a rhythm.
Yeah, okay.
So what has the progressions been lately? So you've been progressing up on your 1K test Oh, sorry, your 5K test on your 1K mat work.
Yeah.
So you're up to 8 now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I mean, like it's like I felt pretty good last week, and that's obviously why I did. Like, I went for 7, and I probably could have hit 8. I think it would have been quite difficult, but I think I probably could have done it. But I do think rowing's one of the areas where I have progressed quite a lot on. Which is quite happy with that.
You'll find that when you do long pieces like this, it'll force you to learn how to breathe as well.
Yeah.
Your long range aerobic system's got so much better. And I'm really hoping that will show when we test some of your CrossFit Open workouts. And your pacing for your mat work has got much better as well.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you found that quite difficult, but now it seems to be much more, much more controlled. Yeah. And then on the rest of your week has been effectively functional bodybuilding, right? Pushing, pulling, hinging, squatting, and then a few nasty bits in between, with a bit of strict gymnastics density. But that will pretty much come to a stop apart from strict press and press holds. Mm-hmm. So I think the weakest part of your snatch now will be the lockout, finding that bottom position.
Right, okay.
Mostly in the shoulder girdle. So I want to continue to do like a structured program on that. But the rest of it is quite a lot of weightlifting. So just try and get your weightlifting numbers up. Yeah. There's a difference between being strong and there's a difference between strength and being powerful.
Sure.
Right at the moment, your deadlift is colossal versus your snatch.
Yeah.
So now your pulls at a pretty good level and your squats at a good level. We need to start getting those weightlifting numbers up. Big weakness for you is your hamstrings, which is why I've done a huge hamstring cycle. How do you feel those? Is that engaging better?
It's difficult to say. With doing the curls the other week, it did feel quite. It was sort of like a difficult and then not so bad afterwards. I do think doing those hamstring curls then had an effect on the snatch grip deadlift.
Yeah.
But then it was either that or because Monday, Tuesday were quite hard. Well, Monday was quite hard, sorry. Because I felt, obviously, previous weeks I've managed to do sets at 100 without too much issue, whereas this week I sort of declined a bit. But then this last couple of weeks of work, I've been pretty balls out. I've been pretty tired from that and just trying to fit it all in. But yeah, is that, with a lot of the Thursday stuff, so the like the leg hinge and then the one leg in front of the other, Romanian, what am I looking at? Split stance, good mornings. Is that all focused on the hamstrings and stuff, is it? Or?
Yeah, so I always put you want to try and get your butt driving back to the wall behind you as much as possible to get that hamstring engagement. I've got to say, like with hamstring engagement, the fact that you're saying, hey, I feel like I'm going down before going back up, that's honestly not a bad thing. Like if you think about your posterior chain, your lumbar, your glute and your hamstring, if you pulled from the floor on your deadlift beforehand and it was all through your lumbar, which was the case because your lower back was just these two massive slabs of meat down on your spinal erectors. Yeah. The fact that you now feel like you can maybe not pull quite as much because you're pulling through your hamstrings and they're not as strong yet, it's kind of normal. Like I've seen that before.
Okay.
The biggest telltale sign is when you're doing things like an Isabel for time, or you've got quite a lot of kettlebell swings for time, and the next day you're like, oh shit, I actually feel it in my hamstrings. Like my lower back's okay, but I feel it in my hamstrings now.
I didn't notice when I did today's, because I played about with a bit with the split stance, whereas I did the band for the first set, and then I did just a 15 kilo dumbbell in one hand, and then I changed to 15 kilo dumbbells in both hands.
Okay.
I upped the weight a bit on the split stance to 25 kilo, but I did feel my lower back felt like it was taking quite a lot of the load. I felt like it was a little bit hard to bend back down afterwards.
Yeah, so just really try and focus on driving your butt back towards the wall behind you all the time.
Yeah.
And if you still feel it in your lumbar, then think about putting a bit more of a knee bend on. Like, get quite aggressive with the chest going down on the floor. But you're pulling like a fair load here, so hopefully you can see this video. But this is not only strong, but pretty stable as well.
Yeah. My right leg's a lot more steady than my left.
Yeah. But this is a huge improvement versus where you were.
Okay.
And like, yes, to get better at deadlifting, you need to deadlift, but there's only so much the lumbar can take, and eventually you just have to take a step back like we have been, get the hamstrings engaged, and once the hamstrings engaged, then we're moved back through. We actually won't do a deadlift cycle because you can already pull a lot from the floor. What we'll do is go straight into power cleans and go into power cleans, and then we'll do some like on the minute work, so we'll start building up accumulation. So we'll do every 2 minutes 2 touch and goes, every 2 minutes 3 touch and goes, every 2 minutes 4 touch and goes. Start building up volume that way.
Okay. Yeah. It's a shame, like I missed you because I came down to this. I was going to come to your session, which changed into the strongman thing.
Yeah.
The other weekend, and I mean they did the 1 rep power clean, and that again I only hit 110. I couldn't hit 112, annoyingly. But we did the deadlift with the bigger bar, and I can't remember what weight was on the bar because nobody knew exactly what the bar weighed. But my deadlift felt quite strong there. But I think it was probably more, or definitely up there with what I've done previously in the past. But I think the biggest difference is that my back was absolutely fine the next day. It didn't feel like I'd been deadlifting.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, that's just like awesome to hear. You know, like you had some really good strengths beforehand. Then you had these glaring weaknesses where any kind of hinge movement, you were strong for a couple of reps because you had this big posterior chain. But the moment we start putting it into a mixed modal setting where it's like 30 heavy kettlebell swings at 32, your lower back would blow up and you'd have to break. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that now we can just put a little bit more volume through that, and you'll just feel your hamstrings instead of your lumbar the next day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, let's hope. And now we can start creating power through things like power cleans and power snatches, because your hamstrings got a hell of a lot more power in it than your lower back when it comes to those dynamic movements.
Okay.
When we go through your power clean progressions and snatch progressions, be sure to set where your butt's down enough that you can feel it in your hamstrings.
Right.
More than likely, you'll be raising your butt up at like almost 90 degrees. So make sure it's down and back so you can get tension through those hammies. Yeah. And when you're video recording it, it really helps me on weightlifting videos to do it from like 45 degrees. Okay. So if I'm standing in front of you, camera will be like at 45 degrees, because then I can see it from the front and the side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that's quite useful for me.
Okay.
So yeah, whenever you're doing video recordings, just make sure it's set there. Yeah. Any other questions of what we're doing in programming or why we're doing programming?
Is like the Thursday stuff, is that just the what was using the term is called? It's just like almost like accessory sort of work, and am I going quite heavy or sort of?
No, not huge, because of your work schedule, and we've only got that hour. We're trying to pack everything into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So you've got like Wednesday and Friday that are pretty good intensity. Well, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday that are pretty good intensity. So Thursday has to drop a little bit. You'll find that if I pushed you too much on that Thursday, you won't be able to maintain your rowing splits.
Yeah. Okay.
But you've only got, like, so tomorrow, hypothetically, you hit your 8. Next week, you'll be hitting your 9. And then you'll retest on your 5K to see where we sit. Now, on the power time curve, we've worked like right down in this section, like where you're going long and your average output's not that high.
Yeah.
What we'll now do is once a week we'll do like really high intensity stuff. So it'll be 40 seconds on the assault bike as hard as you possibly can. Maybe like 20 seconds as hard as you can. Rest 4 minutes, and I'll give you some like static stuff to do within that.
Yeah.
And do that 5 to 6 times. So it's like really, really, really intense.
Yeah.
And then this longer range stuff will start taking the time domain down and building intensity up. And with this intense stuff, we'll start taking intensity down and bringing the time frame up. So they basically meet in the middle.
Okay.
Where like your anaerobic and aerobic power output is almost exactly the same by the time we get to the end. Because I don't know if that makes sense. I might need to do a whiteboard video and send it over to you.
Okay. Yeah.
It gets pretty geeky, but it's good. It's really good. The reason why we haven't done that stuff before is because in order to get like lactic output, in order to go hard enough to generate that, you need to be strong.
Mm.
So if you put like a marathon runner on the assault bike and go as hard as you can for 1 minute and go as hard as you can for 10 minutes, their average is almost the same.
Yeah.
Because they're just not very strong. Whereas if you put a strongman on there, their 1 minute test is ridiculous. Like Jacobs is insane.
Yeah.
But his 10 minute is horrendous because he doesn't have the long range aerobic condition.
Yeah.
And in CrossFit, you want that blend of two.
Yeah, yeah.
And you want them to kind of match at around 6 minutes because that's where our tests are. They're 6 minute windows, you know.
Sure. Just a point on next week is because I'm doing that competition with Sarah on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I'll be driving down to Devon on the Friday.
Okay.
So I probably won't be able to do the road on the Friday. I don't know whether I'll try and squeeze it in on a different day or anything like that.
Are you not training at all on the Friday?
No. No,
Okay.
I won't get a chance to really. So.
Okay. Fine. And I will put your rowing through here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just making some notes for next week.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's mapped out. And then actually the following week, I'll deload you on the first couple of days. Let me know if that competition chews you up. Like Sarah's very, very powerful, so
yeah.
She can, I don't know if she'll tolerate it more or less than you, but I'll deload you a little bit on the Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
It's a pairs comp, so it won't be too bad. But let me know if you're just feeling like really fatigued from it.
Yeah. I don't know what's at stake. I don't know what's involved, so we'll see how it goes. But it should be a good crack anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 10 minutes of pull-ups, then you're going to be pretty fatigued on the Monday. If it's 10 minutes of D-ball cleans, then you'll probably get away with her doing it all. It just depends. It depends on the workouts. So.
True.
Cool, man.
Sweet.
Anything else? So let's talk about work life. So work's pretty busy at the moment.
Yeah. Although next week I'm on to lates, so I should have it should be a bit more manageable. I should be able to have a little bit more time. But it's a bit. It can be one of those things. If I can get down to the gym before work, then I can say I've got an hour or an hour and a half. Or then if I don't, and then I can go to the gym at work. Sometimes I can have all night, or other times I've got no time. So I just sort of play it, aim to go down before work, and then if not, hope I can get in at work. So I'll probably, in theory, it's very sporadic because the idea being is sort of we're on call. So if we get a call, then we go and attend, then we could be out till 4 a.m. I haven't had it yet, touch wood. Normally I'm home by 11, 12, but then I have that extra couple of hours in bed in the morning.
Okay.
Hasn't had any impacts previously, so sort of managed to work it around. But yeah, the last couple of weeks here have been flat out. But it's, as work does, it sort of does all this.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll send over gaps here. I'll send over some active recovery work. If you do find that you end up doing like 3 hours of sleep and you don't eat very well and it's just a mental day,
yeah,
I'll message you some active recovery stuff you can do instead.
Okay.
I've got a couple of workouts that I tend to do that are like 35-minute AMRAPs.
Yeah.
Then I've got a 35-minute and a 45-minute AMRAP. And I go to the States quite a lot, so I tend to do these like down leg when I haven't slept very well, or even come back the other way where you're losing time.
Yeah.
I'll do these just to get a bit of blood wash, and just kind of get my appetite back up. try and get my body back to normal.
Sure.
So I'll send those over to you, and you can pick those up. If you do have a crazy couple of days, then just pick these up instead and just write them out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Cool. All right, mate. I think that's pretty much it. If you've got any other questions, then let me know. But I'm pretty happy with how things are progressing. We'll put you through. I'll put you through a couple of tests next week, and then we'll pick up the rest the week after.
Yeah.
And then if there's anything we urgently need to have a look at, we'll jump on another call. But otherwise, you'll see the next phase mapped out.
Sweet. Okay.
Cool. Awesome, dude. Enjoy your evening, and anything else, just give me a shout.
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing. Can you just remind Kat that I beat her in the strongman medley?
Oh, will do. Oh, it'll be a great pleasure. Will do.
Cheers, bud. See you later.
Yeah,